Inani Omimba.
This is 102.7 FM, CKMS, radiowaterloo.ca. Thank you so much for supporting local radio, Free Palestine.
Reggae Patrol on CKMS 102.7 FM every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Don't touch that dial.
This may look like a war zone, but this, folks, is Canada.
Aboriginal protest movement in Canada has captivated the country and gained supporters around the world. But can Canada's Indigenous community come together?
On the corner, sitting on 22nd Street. Do you have a couple quarters? It'll make you feel so complete. As I sit on my cardboard box as the cold wind blows, I keep on hearing voices, they're yapping all day long. I wish they'd stop and listen and just sing my favorite songs. Some good old-fashioned powwow Indian songs. Mother, I need you to know that I miss you. And Father, I wonder if you're still there. My medication's on vacation, and my mind, it keeps on racing, leaving me nowhere to go. I need my Indian song. Way ah ya ya eh ya, way oh way ya oh way ya eh ya, way oh way ya eh yo, way ah ya ya eh ya, way oh way ya oh way ya eh ya, way oh way ya eh yo, way ah ya ya eh ya, way oh way ya oh way ya eh ya, way oh way ya eh yo, way ah ya ya eh ya, way oh way ya oh way ya eh ya, way oh way ya eh yo. One day, a giant thunderbird is gonna come down and pick me up and take me back to my homelands. And once I'm there, I'm gonna start searching for that sacred medicine. And that sacred medicine is gonna search for me. And once we are united, we're gonna cast this all across the earth for you and your people, so that you too can be well, so that you too can be healed.
Hook ya. You are listening to CKMS 102.7 FM radio, and that was the Indian song by Isaac Murdoch. What an amazing person. We are Two White Feather, Lori, Gentle Eagle, and Cedar Bear, the amazing emotional support pup, or slash fur baby, as like I like to say it. This is the Red Road Journey, where we aim to amplify Indigenous voices to heal ourselves, our relatives, and our communities and our planet. We are broadcasting you from the traditional territories of the neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. Today on the Red Road Journey, we continue to learning more about the 7 sacred laws, or grandfather teachings. Last Sunday, we shared about respect, as understood through the buffalo. Honesty is demonstrating by the Sab, or Bigfoot, as we like to call them. As they use what they have been given to survive, thriving among us, we can look to Bigfoot when we need guidance around self-acceptance and using our gifts in the ways in which they were intended. Now, let's listen once again to Elder Dave Cochrane tell us about a story about honesty. So here it is. Hook ya!
Tens of thousands of years ago, the first peoples of Turtle Island, North America, were given a gift from the Creator, the 7 sacred laws. Elders continue to share these teachings in their sacred lodges today.
Sometimes it takes a lot of courage to listen to your heart and to your spirit as it's telling you what to do, even when your mind tells you something else. We all need courage to do the right thing. After the bear left, the young boy was startled by a large noise. Something was stomping through the bush, and it was getting louder. The boy stood on guard as the treetops swayed. Whatever it was getting closer. Then silence. The only sound that the boy could hear was the sound of something breathing. Then he noticed a pair of eyes glowing in the darkness. Using all his courage, the boy stepped towards them. Slowly, a towering being covered in hair emerged from the bush. The boy froze as this massive human-like creature stood over him.
Young man, I bring you the law of honesty. To be honest is to be someone who is trusted and who speaks with truth. To never lie and always be genuine. Say what you mean what you say, and always stay true to your values.
Long ago, there was a giant called Kitchisabe. You may know him as Bigfoot or Sasquatch. The Sabe teaches us to never lie or gossip. Be honest with yourself and others. Speak from your heart and be true to your word. The young boy, mesmerized by the words shared by the large being, held his heart as Sabe vanished into the darkness. On his way back to the fire, a soft whisper came from behind a fallen tree.
You have a gift, young man. You must share it.
The young boy quickly looked around, wondering where the soft voice came from. As he crept closer to the fallen tree, something scurried from behind him.
So we just heard from the late elder Dave Cochrane about honesty. Honesty is about being genuine with ourselves and others. It's about speaking our truths and living our lives with integrity. So we would like to invite you to call in and tell us about a time that you remember the importance of honesty, whether you saw that in someone else or you were reminded of the need to be that way, for your own healing or in community at large. Okay, so again, our number is 519-884-2567. And as we said before, we are crafting something to give away to those of you that do participate by calling in or even messaging us on our Facebook pages, emailing us at awomb-with-a-view-makes-a-difference@gmail.com. So, the reference that Dave made to putting your hand on your heart is really something that I, Laurie Gentle Eagle, resonates with. For it was what was practiced in the teaching lodge that I participated in whenever we were struggling to speak our truths. And I remember Gashida Kiawak would say, put your hand on your heart, right? Put your hand on your heart. And it just allowed us to free ourselves up and be that conduit, really, for Creator and that voice inside of us that guides us, right? So years later, I was also gifted by another teacher of mine a feather fan. And she shared that holding this will guide you as you speak your truth. We do need help sometimes with speaking the truth. It is said that the longest journey we will ever take is that which is from the head to the heart. Honesty is also a core value in the wise woman tradition of which I follow. And the law of threefold return reflects this. Quote, mind the threefold law you should, 3 times bad and 3 times good, end quote. In other words, anything that we send out returns to us 3 times over. So it's important to be honest always and consider the impact of what we're saying and what we're doing. The path of honesty is not glamorous, and it is often raw and full of pain. But taking this path helps us realize that there really is nothing that we should be ashamed of. By no longer hiding parts of ourselves away, we're able to stand tall and grow our spirit to the size of Sabe or Sasquatch or Bigfoot, whatever you call them. And our life becomes simpler, more peaceful, and ceremonial.
We are blessed with an opportunity to meet with some Indigenous folks with living experience of sex trafficking and running with a gang, which sadly gave them a false sense of protection and control over what was happening to them in the world that constantly reminded them that they did not belong. There were many coming after them as a young brown girls and boys, which was very sad. We're going to share some of the wisdom captured by the Voices of Strength conference in London put on by Alosa Family Healing Services that we attended last week. Here is Black Wolf Hart speaking honestly about where he has been and where he is headed while dedicating his healing efforts to empowering Indigenous urban communities beyond violence. So here is Black Wolf here speaking.
Yeah,
Black Wolf Hart, sorry.
Yeah, just gonna set it up here. This is only a small segment of what he shared, and there were many other speakers as well, but we will get to them as we continue our journey with the 7 grandfathers. But here he is. It's pretty amazing stuff.
And when I look at the youth today, look at 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, even my grandson, like, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that I was that age when I joined my first gang. I was raised mainly in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is considered the gang capital of Canada. The very first gang that I joined was called the Las Vegas Posse. And it was a pool hall that us young Dave kids, we hung out at a place called Las Vegas in downtown Winnipeg. was other, I don't want to say what culture they were or what background they were, but there was other gangs going after native people, going after young men like myself. So we kind of formed a gang for protection. We started going after those other gangs, even though we were like one of the first smaller gangs in Winnipeg. There was other crews and other groups of people that were formed against us. That Las Vegas posse was only around for a few months, and we got absorbed into the Overlords. That was one of Winnipeg's very first gangs. The Overlords, we were black, and the other side was the Indian posse, and they were red. All through my childhood, I was never able to wear red in my area. I wear whatever color I want today. I kind of showcase that today. Wearing red. Kind of wearing the other side's colors right now. But it's our skin color, right? We wear red. We wear red for a lot of reasons these days. For MMIW, I like the color red. So we were absorbed into the Overlords, and it was the first gang, one of the first gangs in Winnipeg. And it was just a lot of us. There was so much of us. We were recruiting. Going into the Overlords, like I just was looking for a sense of belonging. I was mainly raised by a single mother, my late mother, her name was Lina Hart. She was a medicine woman, a sun dancer, a leader. She told her truth in a docudrama called We Were Children, about her life in residential school, how she spent 10 years in residential school. I don't know if any of you've ever seen that movie, but go check it out. Go check it out. It's called We Were Children. The first time I ever watched that movie, it was a screening for just family. It was so hard for us to watch that movie. We probably paused the movie about 5 to 6 times just to smudge, hold my mother and cry, have a good cry. Like our parents, our aunties, they never held back on letting us know about residential school at a young age. I knew about residential school. A lot of us did. A lot of our family members, our parents, our aunties and uncles weren't afraid to talk about it. Some of them were, on their own healing journeys themselves for what happened to them, all the abuses they suffered in residential school. So watching that movie was really, really, really hard. I don't think I could watch it again without crying, without going through emotions, and not having my mother here no more. She passed in 2015, so it's really hard to watch and hear her speak on that movie. Everything she went through, because they don't hold back in that movie. They tell the truth, and that story is it's about Lina Hart, a woman, and Glenn Manitowoc, a man from a traditional dancer from Saskatchewan. And that's only 2 people out of 150,000 that went to residential school. So they took that movie, they took how they triumphed more than once. Even thrown outside of a BFI. It's a big giant dumpster, like a garbage dumpster. I was left for dead, like I was trash, thrown away. They thought that they killed me, but somehow I managed to wake up. I woke up in the hospital a number of times, didn't recognize my own face, was beaten within an inch of my life. I put myself in situations that I don't know how I came out of. So I'll go back to when I was 12 years old, and when I first joined the Overlords, I remember going to this place this community center called the Freight House. And I remember looking in that Freight House field when they were doing initiations, gang initiations, and we all wore black bandanas on our heads, and we all wore black clothing, black and white clothing. I remember looking out at that field, and all I seen was just all of us young boys, young men. Like as far as that I could see, you could see black bandanas. And I was like, wow, I was just so impressed with it. And we would all go out and we would do initiations called Walk the Line, where you'd have to walk through this line and there'd be people on each side punching you, kicking you, stomping you out, everything like that. That was your initiation to the gang. So I should have known right then and there that it was going to be a violent life. You know, it was, I should have known what I was getting myself into, but just like all the flashy cars, all the gold, the money, the drugs, I was captivated. You know, I was like, they had me right then and there as a young youth. And, you know, there was just so much of us too. We just felt like we were just unstoppable, and we were just like a force to be reckoned with. My thinking was way different, just like a lot of us are when we're young. That we don't, our thinking's different. The way we think we're easily influenced. So that's what I was. I was easily influenced into the gang. I went from stealing bikes to stealing cars. One of my friends taught me how to steal cars. You know, that was when it was the stolen car capital of Canada also too. There was, you know, we were all driving around in stolen cars. We went from knives, we went from stealing bikes to stealing cars. We went holding knives to holding guns. There was a lot of things that were happening in the news about the uprising of gangs and native gangs. And a lot of my friends, we would do drive-bys. We were the very first people to be doing drive-bys at a young age, just young little kids. We never would get caught either. Only a few of us got caught. A few of my friends went up for murder. My friend, I'm not going to really say names because, you know what, it's not my place to say that. I'll just say CJ. My friend CJ, he was charged for a murder on a 14-year-old. I think he was only 15 at the time. No, Beeper Spence. If you can find all these stories that I talked about, you can find them in the news. Beeper Spence. He was a 13-year-old. He was shot dead with a shotgun from one of my friends from the Overlords. The killing of a young Indian posse member. That's when Winnipeg knew that they had a gang problem. When there was, we were killing each other. And at the time, we didn't know that we were only killing, we were only killing ourselves. We were always in the news for robbing 7-Elevens, robbing people. That's all we did, is just rob people for their shoes, their hats, their jerseys, everything like that. And I should have known that when we started killing each other, when we started stabbing each other, when my friends were, left for dead. Even I was left for dead when I was like, that's what happened to me too. I got, beaten with beer bottles, bats. My whole body is filled with scars. I got like 16 scars on my head from being stabbed with beer bottles repeatedly. I have a gang tattoo on my stomach that was carved out and a big X. So I have, scars all over my body. Somebody tried to stab me in the face, but somehow I just blocked it. So I got a big stab wound right I was at a gang house, crack shack, selling rocks, staying up, selling, and I went from selling marijuana to selling acid, mushrooms, pills, cocaine. That was even before crack was there. Crack was like coming into Winnipeg. I was selling powder, and I was working in shooting galleries where people were shooting up balls. I was just a young kid selling to adults, watching people shoot up in their neck, shoot up in their arms, their hands, their feet. I've seen all that at a very young age. Worked in those shooting galleries. It was really hard to see as a kid, but I just didn't really care. I think it was way different. I just didn't care. When my friends were being killed, when we were killing each other, I didn't care if I lived or died. Every single time that I ever been shot, every single time that I ever been stabbed, every single time that I ever been, stabbed up with beer bottles, eaten with an inch of my life, I still just, I was riding for the gang. Today, it hurts me to say that at a young age, I didn't care if I lived or died. If I would have just been another statistic. I'm really, I give thanks to the Creator. I'm really grateful that I'm still here and I'm able to tell my story. I'm able to tell my truth. I try to not say share my story or tell my story, because this one elder, she was doing a residential school workshop, and I was like, "Oh, are you here to tell your story?" And she looked at me and she said, "My boy, I'm here to tell my truth." So I was like, "Oh," and that just really stuck with me over the years. That she said, "I'm here to tell my truth." And called me my boy. It feels so good when an elder that you never even met before, calls you her boy. I guess I was at a crack shack, at a drug house on a street called Langside. We actually call it Gangside or Shankside, like when you stacked up. I was there for, I pretty much lived there, because there was always people coming to the door. Like every 5 minutes there was somebody knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, the front door, the back door. There was always people coming and going, people doing their drugs there, everything like that. And by this time, I was smoking weed. I was, doing coke at a very young age. I also got to say that so many times in my life that I went to treatment and I failed. I was in a treatment center for cocaine addiction at 13 years old. The only way that my parents knew and my uncles and aunties knew is because I had a scab coming out of my nose, because I was continuously blowing my nose, doing coke at a very young age, and my aunties, they all got together, and this is before the show Intervention. I didn't even know what that word was, but they had an intervention for me and my cousin Northman. I could say his name because he knows I'm here. I can say his name. So he was also a gang member. A lot of my family were gang members. A lot of my uncles, my cousins. It was just it was so normal for us to be gang members, to be drug dealers, and growing up in the hood, growing up in the ghetto in Winnipeg. If you weren't going to school, if you weren't getting good grades, if you weren't going down that road, you were a gang member, you were a drug dealer. I was just so used to that lifestyle, because everybody around me were gang members, drug dealers. I was selling weed in Central Park, and then I started selling mushrooms. Then I started selling coke at the Balmoral Hotel, the Gordon Downtowner. When I went away at a young age to Homemaker's Lodge in Alberta, we were almost ready to graduate 3 months 13 or 14. So we went right back to it. Every single time that I got out of treatment, I never even got into when I was going into jail, when I was going to the Manitoba Youth Center, when I was going to the Remand Center, Henley Correctional Center, Stony Mountain. Like I've been to, I did the Cross Canada tour up until my adult years. Went to Mission Institution, Saskatoon, Edmonton Max. And when I'm telling these stories, I don't try to glamorize or glorify the lifestyle. I always gotta say that I'm not trying to, prove anything to you. I'm just telling the things that I've been through. And the reason I say I don't glamorize or glorify the lifestyle is because I put myself through so much pain, so much trauma, that I'm still dealing with it today. I'm still on medication, for PTSD, for the things that I've seen, for the things that I did. I'm really grateful that I never took a life, even though so many times I wanted to take my own life, or I wanted to kill someone. When I shot myself, I was trying to kill somebody else, and I'll go back to when I was at that, on the night side. I'm gonna kind of flip around, and everything will come to at the end like that. So being at that gang house, we got our windows and our door shot through with shotguns, handguns, everything like that. We got our windows and our doors shot up. We got our house shot up. We all hit the ground, trying not to get shot. You just smelled like gunpowder. You could hear the bullets whizzing by. And we were just kind of after we were all on the ground. We had glass all over our backs. A couple of us were cut. We were all checking each other for bullet holes, everything like that. And we were all laying down on the ground like that. And then we all started teasing each other because a couple of us were screaming. We were teasing each other you were screaming, you were scared. We were kind of laughing, teasing each other, just like how we were young like that. So about maybe a week later, 5 days later, there was so the person who shot up our house was in a red car. So I was kind of manning the shack, manning the crack shack. I had money, I had crack on me, and I had a shotgun down my jeans like that. I had a shotgun, a sawed-off shotgun, double barrel, down my pants, and I was looking kind of like manning through security, looking out the windows and looking over the back window, and I seen a red car pull up. And I was just right on edge like that, and then that car was going really slow in front of the shack, and then I seen them. They pulled away like that, kind of squealed away. And I was I guarantee they're going to the back. They're going to try to come to the back door and try to shoot us up like that. So I ran to the back with that shotgun, and sure enough, I looked out the back window and that car pulled up like that. So I told my friend, open the door. I'm going to catch them before they catch us. So I was standing up and I was looking out the window, and then that car pulled up, and I was telling my friend, open the door, I'm gonna go shoot them, I'll shoot that car like that. So he opened the door, and I ran like that, and I pulled the shotgun out of my pants, but probably my belt or my jeans probably pressed the safety button on the shotgun. I blew half my foot off. That's why I walk like this, I walk with a limp like that. I'm not trying to walk like this to be cool. Yeah, so every single day, I'm reminded of the things that I did in my life, because sometimes it's hard for me to walk. It's hard for me to I don't know. I try not to let it slow me down. But look at me, I'm sitting in a dark chair right now. I'm reminded every day of the things that I did, the things Like I got like major PTSD. I'm kind of overcoming it. Trying to overcome it, but you know, some days I'm really emotional. I'm not afraid to cry because of the things that I've been through, things that I've seen, people that I've lost, you know, and really young people too. Were taken from us, and, you know, shot, stabbed. Is that actually my time already? One story. I've had thousands and thousands of stories of things that I went through. I didn't even talk about suicide yet like that. How much time do I have?
Like at least 10 more minutes.
Okay, I'll wrap it up.
Yeah, no worries.
So I put myself through so much pain, so much trauma. I don't sit every day feeling sorry for myself for the things that I did. I use everything that I went through in my life, everything that I overcame, I use it as a teaching tool. That's what brought me here today to speak with you community members, brought me here to London. I get to go into schools, I get to go into communities, I get to tell my truth about the things that happened to me. I work with youth. I guess what got me out of the gangs is, well, I did 12 years in prison, 3.5 years, 4.5 years, 2 years. Sometimes I'd be out for 3 days, and I'd pick up another 2.5 years. Then I'd be out for a week, then I'd pick up 4.5 years. I've been caught with crack, cocaine, marijuana, shotguns, handguns. One time I was caught with like 668 rounds of ammunition. I had bullet holes all over my house, but I had bullets in every single room. I was raided by the Winnipeg police, the major crimes, the gang unit, street crime unit. 15 cops came down my door. When they were interrogating me, 3 cops were holding up on my neck. 3 cops almost killed me. I guess you could say they're just doing their job. They lifted me up on my neck. I was like probably like that far off the ground. They're asking, "Where's the guns? Where's the drugs?" And then when they were holding up on my neck, I lost consciousness. I hit the ground. I kind of remember that they were slapping me up, and he's turning blue. I can kind of hear them, but everything went black. I woke up in an ambulance. When I woke up in the ambulance, they were I don't know, giving me some kind of medication or some kind of thing to get me up, but I remember kind of waking up on the floor, then waking up in the ambulance, and then waking up in the hospital. And I remember when I woke up in the hospital, I had 2 handcuffs. I was strapped to the bed with leather straps on my legs and handcuffs on my arms. And I woke up and my mom was sitting there, and she was like, she had her hands, her face buried in her hands, and she was crying. So I woke up to the sound of my mom crying. That was really hard to see that. And then I kind of just started remembering when I got raided because I had a minor heart attack at that time. I didn't tell the hospital or the doctors or the nurses or anybody that it was the cops that, I had a minor heart attack because the cops were taking my air away from me. So there's so much times that I woke up in jail. I remember when I woke up at the hospital, they discharged me, told me I had a minor heart attack, and they took me to the drug unit with the cops, and they put me into a room with all my money, all my drugs, with this camera. They just left me in that room for like 45 minutes just looking at my drugs, looking at all my money. And then I don't know what they thought I was going to do. They thought I was just going to rape or something like that. I didn't say one word. Stony now. I'm glad he's in prison because he's going to get his life together, but I was doing the exact same thing in prison. I was running with gangs. I actually got maxed out. Maxed out is, so Stony Hook is a medium security prison. I was actually getting people to do throwovers over the wall, and I was catching them inside, getting rid of them, and so I got maxed out and I got put into Edmonton Max. Edmonton Max was a whole other thing. We got to a gang war over there. Everything that happened, like every single day there's codes where there's people getting murdered, there's people getting stabbed up, there's people committing suicide, everything like that. I got so much stories to tell, but I have such little time. So I just want to kind of talk about what helped me get out of the gangs, what helped me get out of, everything that went along with the gangs. Was ceremony, it was Sundance.
Black Wolf talked about being a pipe carrier. A pipe carrier invites creators' guidance to lead individuals and communities in a good way. The stem of the pipe represents the male, the tree of life, and the root of the ancestors as it grows. So does the spirit of the people. It grows with honesty, respect, and tolerance. When the bull represents by the woman, the earth, when you are connecting the world above with the world below.
So, to White Feather, I know that you recently came to me and asked the question, do you think I'm ready to carry the pipe? Can you tell us a little bit about what that meant for you to hold it again? I know you had put it aside for a bit, and what you have done with it since.
So, the pipe represents a lot to me. I had a little bit of teaching with Vince Paulus, my very first elder. So we were going through the 7 grandfathers, what it means to carry the pipe when you go and help people, when you're praying with it by yourself or for others or in a group of community. It's supposed to spread love, peace, prayer, the 7 grandfathers in total. Because that's a really big honor to carry that and to even say by an elder that you are supposed to be a pipe carrier. And here I am. I've worked on myself to heal myself and to love myself, where then I could love, just not myself, but, truly love my support person and my fur babies and everyone. So it means a lot to me. And, I know there's a lot of healing and a lot of, learning to do still, but I'm prepared for this journey to continue and to be honored to carry this pipe. So thank you. So our next song is going to be Letter to Elizabeth by Toosick. So here it is.
Forget about the pain that they caused us. They robbed us, stolen men and women dating back to Pocahontas. This PMI, I love y'all, that's the res I come from. Try to make it in the city, but this government's disgusting. Look at what they did to me, look at what they did to us. I can't get no sympathy, they sleep on our intelligence. Go learn yourself some history, now what public school is teaching us. Take back your language and the culture that they keep from us. I was brought up in them trenches, mama went to residential. Still she speak our native language, safe to say that she ain't pay attention. Safe to say that she ain't pay attention. Ay, they wouldn't listen, so it had to get to this. They finding skeletons of our children. I wrote a letter to Elizabeth that went like this: rest in peace, justice for indigenous. Yeah. Little Pine, I see you too. Can't forget you. Listen, ay. I lost my Muslim back in 99, he drank himself. My sister daddy promised her he wouldn't hang himself. I got some stories from my past I really hate to tell. I like I'm okay on the surface, but I ain't been well. Feeling nauseous, I'm losing conscious. I feel like stopping, but I can't stop it, my elders watching me. Put down the bottle, can't keep responsive, my spirit's wandering. Pray to the thunderbirds, ask them to send it back to me. Seasons gon' change it, I ain't gon' change up. Money change everything, I don't wanna be famous. So I don't wanna be famous, yeah. So I don't wanna be famous.
So that was Letter to Elizabeth by Toosick. Our next song is Please Do Not Touch the Indians by Arigon Starr. Hook ya.
They put a white guy in tan makeup. They put a black wig on his head. It's no wonder we ain't on TV. They all think we're dead. They write songs, they make movies about Indians long ago. All those pictures never look like Indian folks I know. Please do not touch the Indians. It's my world, my only home. Please do not touch the Indians. Way-ya, hey-ya, way-ya, hey-yo. Old-time westerns show warriors as fools and as liars. Cartoon Indians dancing round a captive set on fire. A producer takes a call from a studio on the phone. They want him to remake Geronimo with Sylvester Stallone. Please do not touch the Indians. It's my world, my only home. Please do not touch the Indians. Way-ya, hey-ya, way-ya, hey-yo. A so-called expert gave Hollywood knowledge that was a gem. The best way to learn their history is to tell it all to them. Don't expect to do much learning from movies or TV. They'll put teepees in Seattle or buffaloes in Ginley. Please do not touch the Indians. It's my world, my only home. Please do not touch the Indians. Way-ya, hey-ya, way-ya, hey-yo. Please do not touch the Indians. It's my world, my only home. Please do not touch the Indians. Way-ya, hey-ya, way-ya, hey-yo. Way-ya, hey-ya, way-ya, hey-yo.
So our next song is actually a recording, and it was the day that, the night that we went to London, and Black Wolf Hart singing and drumming. He was such a beautiful voice for a male, and what a beautiful song that he picked out to drum. So here he is, Hook Ya.
And this will probably be our last song. So Chi McWitch, thank you very much for listening, and join us next week, of course.
Yep.
Sunday from 1 until 2 on the Red Road Journey, and we'll continue on the path of the sacred laws.
Yes, Hook Ya. So Chimigwech. Oh yeah, so that was Black Wolf Hart singing. And that was at the conference in London. So I want to say Chimigwetch for listening, and we'll see you next week, and we'll have talk about another Seven Grandfathers teaching. So Chimigwetch, and have a good week. Chimigwetch. Bamapi.
La vérité d'aimer, sous les paupières, la vérité d'aimer, sous les paupières, la vérité d'aimer. Cette idée de guérir, cette idée de guérir.
Of names cannot see us, but we can see them. We are the hallucination. Our DNA is of earth and sky. Our DNA is of past and future. We are the hallucination.
Hi, my name's Andrew Wood, and I'm from Kitchener. You know, as most young people do, I'm on the internet 24/7, but once in a while, it's good to just listen to something local. And you're listening to CKMS 102.7, and you can stream us anytime at radiowaterloo.ca.
Hi everyone, this is Willie A, and I'm the host of a blues radio program at a sister community radio station here in Waterloo. You are listening to Community Radio CKMS, Radio Waterloo. We are live streaming on the FM band at 102.7, on Rogers Digital Network at 946, and on the internet. Community radio broadcasts and promotes local news and entertainment through the spoken word and music. Thank you for listening to Community Radio on 102.7 CKMS.
The Ford government is bad news for Waterloo Region. Doug Ford is threatening to override our sustainable regional official plan, potentially forcing thousands of acres of expensive urban sprawl. His housing scheme will destroy our local farms, be unaffordable to most, and will significantly increase our taxes to subsidize developers. Tell your MPP we already have the sustainable official plan we need to build more affordable homes and apartments at holdthelinewr.org. Brought to you by the Small Change Fund.
Hey, what's up? I'm Scott.
And I'm Jared from Neon Ghost House.
And you're listening to CKMS 102.7 Radio Waterloo.
On the radio.
In Waterloo.
It's a radio station.
For people in Waterloo.
That listen to music.
In Waterloo.
Reggae Patrol on CKMS.